On November 2nd, 1975, the body of Italian filmmaker Pier Paolo Pasolini was found on the beach at Ostia. He had been beaten, run over with his own car, and ultimately set on fire. His death came weeks before his final film was to be released. Salò, arguably one of the most vile films ever made, set out to provoke politicians, the armed forces, religious leaders, organized criminals, and the general public. So who do you turn to when seemingly everyone wants you dead? That's today on Death in Entertainment.
Live from Los Angeles.
911, what is your emergency?
Here in Hollywood now.
2 counts of murder,
Injury and death.
Oh my God!
Shocking new details.
that has stunned the entertainment world.
This makes me a little nervous.
The hair stood up on my arms.
Just like in the movies.
What do you call this thing anyway?
Death
In entertainment.
Hello, everyone, and welcome.
Welcome.
My name is Kyle Plouffe,
My name is Mark Mulcairn.
I'm Alejandro Dowley.
and you're listening to Death in Entertainment like you didn't already know.
Okay.
Yeah. This episode is taking us all the way back to November 2nd, 1975, you guys. A lot going on.
What a day, what a year, what an era.
Yeah.
During this time, the popular music going on was Island Girl by Elton John, a hot song I've never even heard.
I can't even picture
I could have
it.
heard it. I don't know if I'd have heard it. I'm Sorry by John Denver. I think we're all sorry after he passed away. Another episode. Miracles by...
I'm not sorry. I didn't do anything. I didn't work on his plane.
Well,
Yeah, he stuck a stick in the spokes.
you didn't help save him either. So number 3, Miracles by Jefferson Starship.
Yeah, these are all huge artists, but like they're Z sides.
Yeah.
And I don't understand
Yeah.
how like they're even the top 3.
I think at this point, this 1975, people are just shitting out the stuff they had left over.
All the best songs were like way deep in the catalog. Like number 23 this week was Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so like it was all these like classic songs, but they were all in like the top 50, not in the top.
And this is
5.
November 1975.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
November 2nd.
the summer and fall have cooled down by this point. You're getting into the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think during the summer, they all the hot releases, and then by this time, they're just letting go
Yeah.
whatever was left over. Because
Yeah.
they used to release like singles like that. Do they still do that off of albums? Like Olivia Rodrigo, do they do that? Like, is there shitty
I thought you were
going
going to say Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah, she's a hot,
Very current.
hot actress or singer right now. Anyway, movies. Jaws, which had been released in June of 1975, was still number 1.
Yeah,
Jaws still number 1.
Crushed.
Well, they would leave
Wow.
a movie all year round in the theaters at this time.
Yeah.
So, like,
And it would return to theaters months later after it already had a first run.
Right.
yeah. Of note, Rocky Horror Picture Show and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest were released just before and just after his death.
Yes.
Whose death?
The man we're talking about today,
Oh, okay.
Pier Paolo Pasolini.
Oh, that's an interesting
The
way to
Italian
lay out
director.
this information.
Just before and just at, which one was which?
Respectively. Rocky
Oh,
Horror
okay.
Picture Show came out before. It did not do well. I think it sold like 20,000 tickets, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest then became number 1 2 weeks after he died.
Okay. Top of the TV charts, All in the Family was number 1. 30 million viewers is watching
Crazy.
All in the Family.
Yeah.
Number 2 was Rich Man, Poor Man.
Isn't
That's
that
the
a
one
book?
I really don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, no, I was thinking
Rich
of
Dad,
Rich
Poor
Dad,
Dad.
Poor Dad.
Yeah. Number 3, Laverne and Shirley.
Which is crazy. We were talking about right before this that I didn't even... I thought that just became big in like syndication. I didn't know that was like a top TV show at the time.
Laverne and Shirley?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was huge.
Yeah. I didn't know.
Well, you don't
Now I
know a
do.
lot of stuff sometimes. Number 4 was Maude, 25 million viewers. Number 5.
B. Arthur.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Top 10 kind of gal.
There you go. Thank you. Number 5, The Bionic Woman. Number 6, Phyllis. I don't know, just Phyllis. 7 was Sanford and Son. tied with Rhoda. Wow.
Oh my-
tie at 24.4
gosh.
million viewers as a tie. Number 9, The $6 Million Man. And number 10, ABC Monday Night Movie.
I loved that movie called Monday Night Movie.
Yeah.
I can't believe that Sanford and Son was tied with Rhoda. Red Fox duking it out with Valerie Harper. I mean, that's a classic match right there.
A lot going on.
It's like the Rumble in the jungle.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Thank you for that. So now we're entering into the life and death of Pier Paolo Pasolini.
I know nothing about this gentleman, except for some of the tidbits you've told me so far.
Yeah. I mean, you saw pieces of his work.
Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
teasers was frightening, by the way. Just like disturbing.
Life is Beautiful was pretty good, though. Never mind.
Not the same, way different film director.
His Pinocchio was a little weird, though.
Yeah. You're thinking of Roberto Mussolini. No, not Roberto Mussolini.
Roberto Benini.
Oddly enough, we're going to talk about Mussolini today.
And we're getting paninis later.
So this is a different guy. This guy, he was actually known as a very prolific poet. And so he was very revered in the world of literature and poetry.
Pier
Paolo Pasolini, yes.
Did you have to say his full name every time, or did he sometimes go by
PPP,
Pierre?
motherfucker.
I got a PPP loan. It's a Pasolini loan.
So he was born March 5th, 1922, and was an Italian film director, poet, writer, and intellectual. He distinguished himself as an actor, journalist, novelist, playwright, and political figure as well. He was a very controversial personality in Italy due to his direct style and his focus on very taboo themes such as sex, death, blah, blah, blah.
What's in the blah, blah,
Sex,
blah
death,
section, I
Sex,
wonder?
death, and yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? There's no yada, yada, yada.
It could be torture. We don't know.
Oppression, capitalism, fascism, that's the yada,
A lot
yada,
of
yada.
isms.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was really known as like a poet, like I was saying. Tons of books.
Is he like Italy's poet laureate or something like that?
Yeah, pretty much. As a poet, he's just completely beloved by people because obviously the people who are attracted to poetry are the kind of people that he was speaking to anyway. There's no like conservative poets that like talking about Fox News and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Sean Hannity's not going to show up to a poetry slam in Detroit.
Yeah. There's no like poetry readings at an All Lives Matter rally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like a lot of people are loving this guy. And so it wasn't until he actually became a filmmaker that he started dealing with people really hating him. It was a huge shock when he went to movies.
It's just like Bob Dylan when he stopped playing folk music and went electric.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like, play Freebird.
Yeah.
It's not even out yet. What?
I didn't even sing that, man.
Come on.
That's not my song,
Isn't it hand in hand, though? It's still an artistic medium going from poetry to movies.
Yeah, why did people have that issue? you
Yeah,
think?
but I think like poetry, it's like coffee shop. We're kind of really like getting into it, man. And then like movies are more commercial.
Yeah,
You
especially
know.
at this time, maybe they're just like very commercialized, and people had in mind maybe big American blockbusters, which were thought of as trash probably in Europe.
Yeah. So like not only did his detractors hate him for the themes that he was going through and the stuff that he was saying in his movies, but the people that supported him didn't like it because it was like big business, man.
I found some of his poetry here.
Oh, do you want to read it?
Sure.
Do you know Italian?
No, it translated.
Does he reference cannolis
Um,
and
Does he say,
And
I'm
the
walking
ZD?
over here?
anyway, do you want me to read it?
yeah, go
Okay.
for it.
Um,
Maroon.
Roses are red, violets are blue. What's with all the pizza in here?
Come on. Gabagool.
Whoa.
Okay, after much weeping in secret and in front of you, after having staged many acts of desperation, you made the final decision to surrender.
Oh.
Thank you.
Ba-doom-doom-doom.
That one's called Hold the Marinara.
When I speak to you, you tell me no, and I tremble with disgust and fury
I'm trembling with disgust right now.
at the thought of our unforgettable happy hours.
Ba-doom, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see why he didn't want to do poetry anymore. Movies are way
Yeah,
more
he
fun.
really milked it for all that it was worth.
Yeah, there's no more poetry for me to say.
Yeah, at a certain point, you're just like, if you're at the top of your game, you got to get out.
He ran out of things to rhyme. It's like spaghetti, confetti.
We're all family here.
Yeah. Maroon.
I'm walking here.
Maroon.
So his social-political outlook when it came to his work, like obviously on the surface he dealt with sex and death, which is like the two biggest things that he would really go over. But that's really like surface level things that were just happening there. What made him more provocative was he really dove headfirst into capitalism, oppression, and fascism. As soon as you look at his childhood, it's pretty easy to see why. In 1926, Pasolini's father was arrested for gambling debts. So his dad was like trying to take the easy way out. Like I've been through this before where you think that gambling and winning money quick is like the way to get around like having to work very hard.
Yeah. No one wants to work every day 8 hours.
It is a way to get around it if you win.
Not possible in the long term anyway. So his father was arrested, but what was crazy is that his dad was a lieutenant in the Italian army, which was like very obviously fascism based.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he was arrested, his mother left with the kids to her family's region of Italy, which was the Friuli region of Italy.
Ah, Friuli. Welcome to Friuli.
They're Irish over there.
Ah, welcome to Friuli.
And so I don't believe his dad went to jail. They let him go back to the army. And later that same year, his father first detained and then identified Antonio Zamboni.
The first man to clean an ice after a hockey game.
This was a 15-year-old kid. It's super fucked up. He like arrested him and identified him as the would-be assassin of Benito Mussolini.
Ooh, a young Benito Mussolini.
Yes.
Or younger.
Yeah, and so word on the street is that his father was really persuaded by this article said the virtues of fascism, which virtues I think is a very strong word.
Well, everyone talks about killing baby Hitler. No one talks about killing baby Mussolini.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a baby here. But I just want to make
I
that
believe
comparison.
Mussolini had a higher death count, too. I might be wrong.
Really?
I might be wrong.
Mussolini death count?
Yeah, can we get the death count?
I'm
Dictator
looking it
death
up.
count?
I'm looking it up. Who killed more people, Mussolini or Hitler?
Too dark for Siri.
Doesn't come up right away. For even historians of the Holocaust generally take for granted that Stalin
Oh, Stalin was the worst.
Stalin,
killed more
yeah.
people than
Yeah.
Hitler.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I don't think it's possible.
Mussolini killed 500,000. Yeah, that's
And
Well, the
Hitler
thing
killed
not
is-
right.
a
I
lot
was
more.
thinking of
2
Stalin in my
million
head.
or more. Hitler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hitler just had more access to people because he had those countries on the east, west, north.
Yeah, he had it easy.
Yeah. Easy access Hitler, they called him.
Mussolini was an underachiever.
Yeah, apparently. So yeah, on October 31st, 1926, somebody shot a bullet at Mussolini who was riding in an open car through Bologna.
Is that next to Stanconia?
I've been to Bologna before.
Have you?
Yeah, it's like a college town in Italy.
Really?
Yeah.
They're playing flip cup and stuff,
Rome.
but with the marinara sauce.
I I think I ate some pasta and walked around.
Really?
It was on the way to Rome. So anyway, I didn't see anyone get shot.
Yeah. Well, he didn't even get shot. He got shot at. And then Pasolini's dad was like, hey, it's this 15-year-old kid, and grabbed the kid and brought him to prison, and they ended up killing this kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And he didn't even do it.
Zamboni.
Wait, Antonio Zamboni is the kid.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, Anteo Zamboni.
Oh.
Anteo.
I clean out your eyes for you. That's my Italian accent.
My spaghetti.
My spaghetti.
Yeah, so J. Bauer Bell, who is a terrorism specialist, wrote that the boy was most likely innocent and the affair was either a put-up job or a plot between fascists.
The affair?
The affair meaning like the attempted murder?
Yeah.
I was trying to make a joke.
Yeah. Well, in Italy, you assume there's like some romance involved.
Yeah, someo's getting
Someone's
fucked.
getting fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was this kid,
This
apparently.
kid. Yeah, the Zamboni.
Oof, yeah, he got iced.
Oh!
Come on.
Zing, 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 ding.
Jeez,
Can we get a
poor
sound
kid.
effect for that? Ooh, my own. My wife.
So this actual attempt, this murder attempt, resulted in the creation of Mussolini's secret police, which was the precursor to the German Gestapo. So imagine this dude, Pier Paolo Pasolini, his father was a lieutenant who was a gambling addict, and like after getting arrested was just trying to make good and impress his, superiors. When there was a murder attempt, he's like, I know who did it. I got him. Let's kill him. They kill him. And then they think that's such a scary thing that happened to our leader that we need to get a secret police that is going to go around. And literally they were called the OVRA. And the OVRA...
The OVRA.
Yeah.
OVRA.
The kind of little too much, just like Hitler had the SS, which is very quick. You just say SS.
The Organization for Vigilance and Repression of Anti-Fascism.
Their marketing wasn't as good
Little
as
long-winded,
Nazis.
yeah.
Yeah, Gestapo is much easier to say.
Well, the Nazis in general, they had Lenny Riefenstahl and
Yeah, they had
and
they had
Hitler
the
was
dream team.
an artist himself.
Well, the dream
Yeah,
team
they were
might
doing
be
windmill dunks on everybody.
F. Lee Bailey of World War II era PR people.
Yeah.
We'll call it that. Is that a bad thing to say?
No, that's good.
I don't want to color Spider-Man the wrong way, but they were like the Marvel of marketing.
Oh, well, we don't want to get involved with those.
Turn
we don't want
that
to tango with them, yeah.
So that was like one of the major catalysts for why he has his outlook in the world. Never mind just
So
with
this
his work.
inspired like his
An outlook of
dark-
anti-fascist,
Yeah.
anti-oppression.
Yeah, exactly what his dad was fighting for. He was like, fuck all that shit.
So the classic doesn't want to be his dad.
Yeah. Get out of my room, Dad.
that boils down to every single story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they wind up being their dad.
Uh,
A little bit different here, maybe.
this guy
but yeah.
might- maybe not.
yeah. We'll see.
because not only was he against all this stuff, like he was against just a lot of what mainstream Italy was, in favor of, which is fascism and,
Well, they
buckling down
did
and-
vote in Mussolini.
Yeah. Italy at this time also had like a very weird government setup. So they have obviously Mussolini, who's the dictator, but they had a king at the time too. Like I didn't realize
They
that
had a king.
They had like a
king.
leftover monarchy.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
What was the king's name?
King of Italy? Victor Emmanuel III of Italy, and he was king from the 20s through the 30s until the 40s, and he died December 28th, 1947. So it's just like a really weird thing that like not even too long before we were born, Italy still had a friggin' king.
No, but that is crazy. Like, well, England still has a fucking king, kind of.
Yeah,
or
but-
monarchy.
Yeah, but they're like the most obvious one. You think of like everything else as being it's just.
But at
being
this
like
time in Italy, they have a pope, they have a king, and they have like a prime minister.
we're going to talk about the prime minister too in a little bit, but that was something that like was weird to me that I thought the prime minister was just mostly political, but they were the ones charging him with crimes.
Yeah, because I thought they had a president, like Berlusconi was the president of Italy, but maybe
They do
this-
now, I think.
They do. Okay,
I
so
think.
they've gone through a lot of changes since like World War II. I'm sure.
Are we going to sound stupid?
Yeah.
A lot of it is, I
Italian.
think, maybe there
Yeah.
was a prime minister that.
The least
Yeah,
educational.
Italy
podcast.
president Sergio Mattarella.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have a president and a prime
Sergio
minister.
Mattarella.
Hey, mozzarella!
over
Yay,
here.
get in line over here. I'm the president.
And then the prime minister, is there prime minister?
Mario Draghi.
So there's a prime
I'm
minister.
the prime minister. Give
and
me the
a
macaroni.
President. Yeah, and then England has the prime minister and the king, but no president.
No president.
So of the president and the prime minister, obviously the president has more power.
I guess. So.
But at that time, in the 40s, who has more power, the prime minister or the king?
no, but I'm saying it could have changed after World War II.
Mussolini, the
Yeah,
dictator.
Yeah, he just decided, I don't want to be, any of this bullshit, titles.
Wow.
I want to be the fucking Mussolini.
Duh.
So the dad.
We're learning about how he's forming his worldview,
Okay.
So we talked about his dad, the Gestapo. He was the originator of the Gestapo pretty much.
So his dad would have, if he was in Germany, he would have gladly joined the SS.
Oh, yeah. He was the SS of Italy,
Italy,
for
yeah.
sure.
So his dad, he's like kind of a failure in like those kind of people. They feed off that type of person who's like a failed, you name it.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, like, hey, why don't I just go and be a fascist and like kill people?
That's-
I failed at everything else.
That's literally how, like, they get the people for what the Islamic Brotherhood or whatever.
Yeah.
the ISIS, all that shit.
They're like used car salesmen that couldn't make enough money or something.
Yeah. And so one of the final things that kind of formed what he was doing, this guy, Marcello Alisi, he was a public figure. He got in trouble for stealing tires around Italy. But
He couldn't find anything better to steal.
That's a good racket.
Yeah.
Hey, run after that guy. He just took our tire.
But he was clearly a very.
I'm so hungry. I need to steal some good years.
Yeah. He was clearly like a very mentally ill person, and
I brought home another tire for dinner.
I get Firestone at this time.
Daddy, you have to. We told you to take bread, not a tire.
I keep forgetting, and I grab tires. I think mentally there's something going on in my head where I see no difference between tires and the bread.
But oh well, we eat anyway.
Yeah, we eat to the tire.
Grab the marinara.
Yeah, put some ragu on the tire.
There's a bread and a chewy.
I'm a choking on this bread. It doesn't go down the way you think it would.
Oh, mommy, grab the air pump. My tire's a little bit flatter.
I need a surgery to get the bread out of my stomach.
That's a spicy tire.
That's a good year. It's good with the Parmesan cheese on it.
Fuck. So this dude was actually either killed or like set up to die in prison. And it was like a super public thing. So there was an article written by Wu Ming in 2016 about Pasolini and like one of the things that really affected him. And it was the death of this guy who was mentally ill and was killed in prison. The solitary agony and death of Marcello Alisi would run deep in Pasolini and would inspire the ending of his second movie, Mamma Roma, in 1962. But in 1959, when this happened, Pasolini is not yet a filmmaker. He's 37 years old and has written collections of poetry and 2 novels that have caused uproar. He's already gone through arrests, charges, and trials. The Prime Minister's cabinet was directly involved in one of his books, Censorship. Nevertheless, this is nothing compared to the fascist stalking, police, and judicial mobbing and media lynching this man is about to endure.
Jeez.
So, like, at this point, he's about to go into filmmaking. One of his big first criticisms was regarding his views of the student movement versus fascism as a whole. And, like, they had a standoff with the police. A bunch of college students versus the police. And Pasolini was, like, really disgusted by it because he viewed college kids as, like, the bourgeoisie. They were the kids of like the rich people, and he was just like, ugh, you pussies.
So they're like elitist, but you know, their head's in the right place as far as fascism go, but he still like hates them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So addressing the students, he tells them, quote, unlike the international news media, which has been reporting on them, he will not flatter them. He points out that they are children of the bourgeoisie. Quote, you have faces of daddy's boys. I hate you like I hate your dads.
Boy, he really had it in for his father, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And then he says, when you and the policemen were throwing punches yesterday, I was sympathizing with the policemen. And so people thought that he was like pro-fascism then, and they were like, well, what are you talking about? And there was like a huge uproar, but he actually explains it in a clip, and it's really nuanced. Like, he hates the bourgeoisie, obviously, because he sees that, you know.
That's like the elitist ruling class kind of like people like that. And then their kids always
the one percenters, if you will.
1%ers, their kids are like these woke people who will turn into them anyway, but are pretending when they're younger that they're these activist people and they care.
So he explains that his sympathy for the police was because policemen are children of the poor and they're fighting rich people's wars, which is...
He's like a Blue Lives Matter guy.
Yeah, kinda.
All those who criticized my poem had to continually backtrack on the occasion of the death of a policeman killed either by the police, the fascists, or communists. His death brought out exactly what I had said. Power has 2 ways of bringing about a racist hatred against the poor. The first point, leave them poor and the poor person comes to be hated. Make them policemen and they're accused of being killers. The moment a poor person becomes a killer, he's open to racist hatred. This is horrible. We shouldn't experience this. I'm obviously against the police. It's the arm upon which every power structure is built. And a power structure always tends towards the right. I do, however, refuse to share in any type of racial hatred.
He seems very confused, like where his politics lie. There's all these kind of things going on. He doesn't know where he stands.
That's one of his biggest criticisms. Literally right before that, they say, Pasolini has never come up with a clear idea of his politics or whatever.
Yeah, he has his ideologies, which is like in between like 18 different things, but he doesn't have his own.
Well, he comes out as like a gay guy first, but he is gay.
Does he come out as gay like in the public?
Yeah.
He's always been like that.
Yeah.
And in Italy, it's not really seen as like that big of a deal kind of thing.
I think it was because it was the age of the people he was hooking up with at first. He got in trouble.
That's
right
a
after
different
this.
issue, though.
Yeah. They were 16, and he was pretty much saying, like, these are just people trying to destroy me because I'm gay. And the other people were like, nah, it's because they were 16.
They're talking about the age then.
He was like
detractors.
he was vouching for like separation of church and state. He's like, you guys are just saying this because you're religious.
But
and you're
who are
trying to
you guys?
Dictate your religion.
Is this the Catholic Church or something?
Who's
Or is
saying
like
this,
government
Kyle?
The
people?
government.
So he was arrested, caught with an underage guy. And then based on that arrest, he was saying it was motivated by homophobia.
Yes, exactly.
I'm wondering if there's an actual age of consent in Italy because it's not 18 everywhere. I don't know. I'm not trying to,
Especially back in the 60s. Who knows?
justify it. I'm just.
You want me to look it up?
I'm just curious.
Age of consent in the 60s.
That automatically goes to the police.
No, but what was he arrested for, though, officially? That's
With
what
the
I'm wondering.
16-year-old?
Yeah. Was it because of the underage?
Yeah.
Or was it because it was another man? Or was he stealing tires while he was having sex?
Yeah.
I don't think anything came of it.
The age of consent in Italy is 14 years old.
Bless you.
God, am I-
Oh, so he was good.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
that's
right.
what I was wondering.
The
So-
age of consent in Italy is 14 years old. Individuals who are 13 or younger are not legally permitted to consent to sexual activity.
Yeah, so if it was legal, then that's what he was pissed off about because he was saying, like, you're just coming after me because I'm gay.
Yeah.
Could be.
It just seems like he has a lot of things to say, but when things come at him, he has all these dodges and stuff. Yeah, he's like the Neo in the Matrix.
Yeah.
He seems to be complaining based on what he assumes is coming at him, which is homophobia and stuff, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe it is. I don't know. Italy during this time, it's kind of post-fascism, It really is.
Here it says same-sex sexual activity has been legal in Italy since 1890.
Oh, wow.
So it was not illegal.
Well, they definitely have it in their past. Let's be honest. Like, Aristotle and all those kind of great thinkers of the elder age. I'm gonna get in trouble for this.
Yeah.
Some Sons of Italy.
Aristotle was butt fucking.
Yeah, some Sons of Italy group or something. Is gonna come. Like, remember in Sopranos when the Columbus Day? They came after them. I'm gonna get like that at my doorstep. It's gonna be like Silvio and some goons.
That episode was Tony's like.
It's anti-Italian sentiment. I
Like,
tell you.
what are you saying about Columbus?
The Cuomo brothers and Mario and Luigi are going to be at my doorstep.
Yeah, I mean, during his entire professional life, he was always in court anyway. He had 33 lawsuits filed against him, this having to do, obviously, with his art. He was charged with public disgrace, foul language, obscenity, pornography, contempt of religion, contempt of the state, and many more.
So were the movies that kind of, obviously you told me, they were pretty grotesque, but are they that seriously like hideous?
They work up to it. So question for you guys. He was charged 33 times. And with, how Italy is, out of 33, like, what do you think the percentage of him being actually found guilty of all these things are?
100%.
0%.
0%.
I knew it was one of those.
He was always acquitted, which
He's
is
like
crazy.
the
I guess that
Teflon-
makes sense.
The Teflon poet laureate.
Teflon Don.
If he was found guilty 33 times, I think he'd be in jail the rest of his life.
That is true. But he was also killed very quickly.
Whoa.
So
Don't give it away. I mean, it is called Death and Entertainment.
yeah, somebody's gonna die.
Where's the entertainment part of this episode, though?
Ooh, boy.
We're waiting for it.
His first movie, if we're going on like offensiveness, he jumps right into things that
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
would offend anybody you would think is like your aunt or whatever, but like times 10. People who are very religious that wouldn't want to be seeing things like the first movie was Acatone, and that was
Acatone!
Pasolini's first film as a director. And
what year was this?
1960 or 1.
Okay, so this is the early 60s.
Early 60s. Yeah, because his second movie was 1962. So it was 1960 or 61. It had a bunch of trademark Pasolini characteristics. Like, he had a cast of non-professional actors hailing from where the movie is set instead of getting like a bunch of high-value people that you need to pay and blah, 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 blah. And the thematic emphasis was on impoverished individuals. It was just about this guy who was named Acatone, which means beggar in Italian. And he was a pimp, and he was working until his prostitute was captured by his rivals and then sent to prison.
This was based on a video game, right?
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto.
No,
Grand Theft Tony.
it was turned into a video game.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Tire.
And incidentally, I guess Space Invaders was based on that movie. Okay, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Goodbye. So this guy Akatone, his prostitute, his income gets captured by his rivals, sent to prison, and then he has no way to work, and he doesn't want to work himself. So he finds this woman, and he's just like, you know what? How about you be a prostitute? And she's like, sure. And he throws her in a car with this guy, and then as soon as the guy starts like trying to hook up with her, she gets out of the car, runs away. And so he's like, you know what? I'll be with you. I'll financially support you. And he goes to make an honest living and works one day and then quits. And then he has a bizarre vision of his own death. So he goes back to stealing with his buddies and then gets killed in a traffic accident when he's trying to evade the police on a stolen motorcycle.
I can just picture this guy in like a coffee bean writing this like script and stuff. And like, where is he getting this dark shit? These turns are just like crazy.
So that's his first movie. And of course, it's like a super Christian nation, Catholic. Like
The dude's dad was practically a Nazi.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a dark vision.
Yeah.
From then, he goes to Mama Rosa, which is a movie all about thieves and prostitutes. After that, he goes to Gospel According to St. Matthew, which is about the oppression, murder, and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Well, that sounds kind of safe.
Yeah.
Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's like Michelangelo. He's doing like religious pieces.
Right. And then he has the Canterbury Tales and Arabian Nights, which we've all heard of, read, or seen.
They're my favorite.
The last movie he ever made was Salò, or the 120 Days of Sodom, which is highly regarded as one of the most disturbing movies ever made.
This is a family movie.
So the film focuses on 4 wealthy, corrupt Italian libertines in the time of fascist Republic of Salò, which the Republic of Salò is the Italian Social Republic. A lot of bad shit going on. They kidnap 18 teenagers and force them to 4 months of extreme violence, sadism, and sexual as well as psychological torture. The film explores themes of political corruption, consumerism, authoritarianism, nihilism, morality, capitalism, totalitarian. Okay, they're saying all this, but like when you watch the movie, you're not really getting that. You're pretty much just seeing people get tortured and eat shit and then get murdered.
And you're not thinking of all these themes of totality. You're not thinking of them like a high-minded, philosophical thing.
Right, because that's the thing with this movie is like I only got that after I listened to interviews with him after being like, well, this is what it was really about. Because on paper, this is really just a snuff film.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Well, it's
you
not
saw like 3 seconds and almost puked.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not that guy that likes those movies. Like Lars von Trier, I can tolerate some of his movies, but some of them...
That's a different thing, though. They're not like eating feces and Lars von Trier
I know.
movies.
They had to eat
you're
the
right.
poo-poo.
They're two different filmmakers. You are correct there.
No, but it's not. Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
I was just trying to say a thought. I was just saying that Lars von Trier is that guy that wants to... hit you over the head with all these horrible things about world, and that's great, but like it boils down to this guy's a maniac who wants to, make people's lives awful.
Yeah, make people eat the poo-poo.
That's Mark's 2 cents.
Yeah, that's certainly quite a 2 cents.
Over here with Marky 2 pennies.
Yeah.
I'll give you my 2 pennies. I got one my left and my right here. Here's my 2 pennies.
It ain't worth anything more than 2 cents.
How dare you talk about Lars von Trier and
Yeah, wow. Dr. Contrarian, would you like to have a counterpoint?
No, the counterpoint is he's not looking to make you feel awful.
I think he is. I disagree with you. I disagree.
And if you are, it's to find a greater truth.
Well, that's what this guy's trying to say too. Pasolini's not trying to make people feel awful.
Yeah. And on its base level, it's a movie where they capture war criminals, correct?
Yeah.
And that's who they're torturing.
Yeah.
Bad people.
So these people, these people are not guilty in any way.
No, they're innocent children.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
No.
Okay.
No, it's very disturbing.
So it's like bad people up to bad things.
Bad people up to very bad things. And like there's this big scene at the beginning where, they're ripping people off the street, they're putting them in the trucks, they're driving through the backwoods and then end up at this like glorious estate. So it seems like they might be taken care of. And then they get brought out onto the lawn, and all the fascists like come out onto. It's like a scene from Evita where she's like, "Don't cry for me, Argentina," out the window or whatever. And these guys are just like standing over them from the window, being like, laying the ground rules, being like, "You're here for us. You're gonna eat when we tell you to eat. You're gonna bathe when we tell you to bathe. You're gonna sleep when we tell you to sleep. You're gonna fuck when we want you to fuck.
Hey.
And if you try to leave, we're gonna kill you."
And they're all children.
And
they're like
children,
underage.
They're children of the wealthy or of the bourgeoisie, as you called it before?
I think they're poor. And so they're all like beaten down anyway. And
so maybe that's what I would take from it, I guess, is that's how society is he was trying to illustrate.
That's what he wants you to think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I only got that after. He's
Wait,
like,
what is he trying to say?
it's like an allegory for. It's like he's giving you what life actually gives us.
You can't beat evil.
No, they're in charge and they're going to dictate how you live, what you eat, what you consume, and pretty much how you die.
Interesting.
And get off on it the whole way.
But there's no free will in which these people are able to run off of this kind of like this estate.
No, yeah, the people who try to get out of it get killed immediately, and then one person who protests gets killed right away.
So is
they
this
snuff out
is this a major
everything.
blockbuster? This movie?
No.
It's not like Jaws where it played till November.
Number one.
Yeah.
Till 1985. No. So like I think that was oddly one of his missions for this movie. And he never said that, but in my head I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so if this guy hates commercialism that much and capitalism, why not make a movie that's so disturbing and so disgusting that tells the truth in his head that's also not commercially viable?
He doesn't seem like the type of guy that does a movie, one for the studio and one for him. He just seems like he does all of them for no one.
Yeah. I'm going to do it for me.
Yeah.
He did Salò.
This one's for me.
Salò, then The Untouchables. Then...
Yeah.
So this is the scene I was telling you that, they just rounded everybody up. They put them in trucks. Now these are the fascists that are getting out of the car and heading up to the estate.
For some fun and relaxation.
Yeah, they have their servants here. That these are like
They look demonic.
These are like the
people.
Maxwells of the operation. They get the girls like feeling like they can trust them, and they betray their trust the entire way.
So these are the victims they're leading in.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those old Roman buildings they got there. That's like where Mussolini would speak, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like fascists.
Yeah.
You're saying you're herded, feeble creatures.
This is the Evita scene you were talking about.
Don't expect to find the freedom you were granted in the outside world. You are beyond the reach of any legality. Nobody knows you're here. Really scaring the fuck out of them.
And tonight, never-ending breadsticks.
Till you're dead. You are not family here.
Jesus.
I think I'd rather be there, though, than the Olive Garden.
Oh.
The company will assemble in the Hall
At
of
least
Orgies.
here you really are family. Or you're not.
You might get something good to eat here.
Yeah, cock.
Yeah, piece of shit. Oh, she looks nice.
God, the fascists just look grotesque.
This is like a Wes
It's
Anderson
creepy.
movie. Like a dark Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah, they're really gross.
God, they look like Satanists.
Yeah. After dinner, the gentlemen would conduct the so-called orgies.
Well, this is what I feel like he's trying to say. Like, we are living in our own kind of like, torture chamber like this. And we could leave, but we don't.
Well, they make it very clear that if you try to go, you'll die.
Yeah, is there snipers on the roof?
Yeah,
Oh,
these guys
never
have guns.
mind.
Yeah, they're told, you're fucked. You're here and you're ours, and there's nothing you can do.
They looked really, really evil.
Yeah, it's an uplifting way to...
Yeah, it's like a bed and breakfast in Italy there.
Yeah, and then...
They scowl at you until you die.
Let's see here. So yeah, this movie premiered at the Paris Film Festival on November 23rd, 1975, and had a brief theatrical run in Italy before being banned in January of 1976. So it was literally less than 2 months, just barely over a month.
And I imagine at the film festival, it got quite a reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, did it go to Venice or Cannes?
No.
Did it go to the Poughkeepsie?
It's the original Poughkeepsie tapes.
Yeah. It went to the Catskills Film Festival.
Yeah. Danny Aiello.
Oh, I made a movie this year.
So the movie premiered on November 23rd, but he was killed on November 2nd. So he didn't even get to see really this movie in theaters with people seeing it. So he didn't get to see the reaction in the room, which probably wasn't good anyway.
Yeah. Did he want to see people puking out their pasta on the walls or something? Like, what did he want to see?
I guess.
Okay, so he never saw any release or public showing or anything of his movie.
No.
Kind of like Adrian Shelley.
Yeah, wow,
exactly.
very similar. Episode 3.
Callback.
Also, Adrian Shelley was killed on November 1st. This guy, November 2nd.
Holy
November 1st is
shit.
my birthday also.
Wow.
Oh
All
my
Saints
God, that's
Day.
so true.
November 2nd was
This guy.
another date. I don't know.
And both movies involved eating a pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, one pie of shit, one pie of
Don't
apples.
they eat crap in this
poopy
movie?
pie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sure do. Pasolini, so he was assassinated, and so they knew immediately this dude was murdered because it was
I'm a
bad.
dead.
I'm a dead. Pasolini, he was assassinated on November 2nd, 1975, on the beach at Ostia. He had been run over several times by his own car, which is fucked up.
That's not a day at the beach, if you ask me.
Hey, come on, gay. Multiple bones were broken, and I don't know if this is too much to share, but they know it. His testicles were crushed in a separate incident.
Oh.
So this is the thing. What they know about his death is that
There were no tire marks on the testicles.
he was severely beaten.
There were fingerprints.
Yeah.
Were they Goodyear tires?
There was a metal bar between his legs.
There was.
Yeah. So he was crushed in the nuts with a metal bar.
Really?
So he had been beaten, thrown on the ground, nuts crushed, run over with a car, and then, wait for it, set on fire after that.
I hate when this happens.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Boy,
It's a lot.
that's a tough day at the office.
Check, please.
Yeah. So the autopsy revealed that his body had been burned with gasoline after his death.
After?
Yeah. The crime was long viewed as a mafia-style revenge killing, one extremely unlikely to have been carried out by only one person.
And what would the mafia want to do with him?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
There was one person that was arrested for it. This kid, Giuseppe Pino Pelosi. He was 17 years old.
Any relation to Nancy?
Yeah.
Could be.
Speaker of the House.
So he was 17 years old and was a child prostitute.
There's no nice way to put that, you know?
Later, yeah. I mean, but actually, he was 17. If the age of consent is 14, then he was a grown man prostitute.
Yeah.
Got to do what you got to do.
He was an of-age prostitute.
Yeah. So he was caught driving Pasolini's car after Pasolini was found dead and confessed to the murder. So he was put on trial, convicted in 1976. Initially with the, on the judgment, he was also guilty with unknown others, was in quotes. But this phrase was later removed from the verdict. So there was a movie that came out in 2014 with Willem Dafoe, who actually plays Pasolini, and they kind of went over the last days of his life.
That's good casting.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
You never know. Like, we don't know what Pasolini really looks. I don't know what he looked like.
He doesn't look like Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm saying. Because Willem Dafoe, like, some Italians can be blonde, but most of them are not.
Yeah, he doesn't look like them.
Was he weird in it?
Well, when is Willem Dafoe not weird?
Yeah, I think he was weird. Yeah.
That's what they get him for, you know? If they get Willem Dafoe, he's not weird.
Just a guess.
They return him.
He was probably pretty strange in the movie, right?
I mean, playing a gay anti-fascist in 1960s
He's
Italy.
like, I'll do it.
David Lynch is like, that's practically a rom-com.
Yeah.
So there's different theories. The first theory was that, obviously they caught the right guy because he confessed to the murder. But 29 years later, on May 7th, 2005, Pelosi retracted his confession. He said he only confessed under the threat of violence to his family.
Shit.
He claimed that 3 people with a southern accent had committed the murder, insulting Pasolini as a dirty communist. So that's one of the things, is like, he was sought out by people who didn't agree with his intellectual.
And for the listeners out there,
ideas.
Southern Italian accent.
That's what was one thing I didn't really
The
get. I was
South is the South everywhere.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they call everyone
You dirty
communist,
commie.
even though they don't know what communist means.
So that was in 2005 when he retracted his confession. So that's 29 years later.
He didn't want to do it like after 1 year, 5 years.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
not.
wait. I'm gonna wait this out. 29 years.
One day he wakes up, he's having his breakfast, coffee, got the paper out. He's like, I'm going to tell the truth today.
Which is odd because in 2005, there was other evidence actually uncovered that Pasolini had been murdered by an extortionist. Testimony by his friend Sergio Citti indicated that some of the rolls of film for Salò had been stolen and that Pasolini planned to meet with the thieves on November 2nd, 1975, the day that he was killed.
Did he have money?
Yeah.
He was wealthy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had money for sure. Citti's investigation uncovered additional evidence, including a bloody wooden stick and eyewitnesses who said he saw a group of men pull Pasolini from the car. The Rome police reopened the case after Pelosi's retraction, but the judges responsible for the investigation found that the new elements were insufficient to justify a continued inquiry.
Shit.
Having a bloody wooden stick?
Yeah.
You find that in someone's car. It's like you can't explain that away. Like, hey Murray, what do you got that bloody wooden stick
Yeah, it's
for
got
in the
half a
truck?
testicle.
Mind your business, okay?
It's to clean the windows. Anyway, where are we going bowling?
That's why it has half a testicle on it.
It's a flute. Anyway, you didn't see anything.
So this is definitely the mafia like shutting down everything here. They're controlling all of these strings here.
Yeah.
It seems
Could
like.
be because there really were rolls of film that did get stolen from that movie.
Yeah.
So like they don't know if they were trying to extort him or they were actually like
I think
so
it was
disgusted
both.
by the
I think
movie.
It was both. I think they're using the fact that we care about the nastiness of this movie, which is why we're extorting this guy. No, they just want his money.
Yeah.
And they're using this as an excuse.
Yeah. So in the movie that Willem Dafoe played Pasolini in, the movie not suggested, but it showed that he was killed for being caught being romantic with that 17-year-old kid.
Oh, geez.
The one that was charged with his murder.
Yes.
Okay.
So the way that they show it.
29 fucking years. Or he did his entire life in jail.
Yeah, he did another 12 years till he died after that.
For being extorted.
Yeah, he died in 2017.
Well, at least he got out of jail finally.
Get out of jail free,
Yeah.
God. Death.
I had died, so I live in the jail. So stupid.
This is why I don't really know about this part because in the movie, Willem Dafoe is like, starting to hook up with this kid on the beach, and then a group of homophobes see it and they're like, you quiz, and they beat the shit out of
Southern
him.
accent,
takes place in-
Southern
Yeah, it was a
Boston
Southern
accent.
Yeah, exactly. It takes place in Framingham, by the way.
Framingham.
Ben Affleck shows up. Hey, he's a queer. Grab him.
Yeah. Let's throw a Dunkin' Donuts cup on his head.
Is my daughter in there? Oh no, it's two guys.
Is my Pasolini in there?
Tim Robbins plays the kid in it, like
Yeah.
Mystic River.
With the worst Boston accent ever. Hey, Dawn. I'm Tim Robbins.
Thinking about vampires. I've been thinking about vampires.
And the Oscar goes to Tim Robbins.
I don't know if I killed him or her.
So the movie, like, it gives you an idea of possibly something that happened, but like they also just showed the kid getting freaked out. And after Pasolini gets beaten to within an inch of his life, the guys like kind of run away and the kid freaks out and drives off and runs him over. So it was almost like an accident.
He's like, is this reverse or forward? Then he's like, ow!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the Boston Marathon bombing where the kid ran over his own brother because he was just trying to get out of there.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So like he's just,
Yeah, but you're just freaked out
Escaping.
at that time. You just don't even know if you're going
that
forward
makes
or backward.
sense.
Yeah,
but
you
the
just hit
movie
gas.
the movie doesn't cover him being burned to death after that. It was pretty much just like he got beat up and then run over and that was it.
Yeah.
So was the Tarantino version.
Yeah.
The happy ending.
Yeah.
He's only murdered and beaten. He's not burned.
Right. Well, it's just you can't really take it as gospel. It's just like, oh, this is
It's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess that makes sense.
Once upon a time in Bologna.
Hey. And then the final kind of theory that people have is that this 17-year-old kid set him up because he knew he was a rich director and it was a robbery gone wrong or something like that. Still highly contested. We don't know.
It's kind of like the waitress one.
Yeah, I was just
we
thinking
don't
that.
really. There's like 18 different things.
Yeah.
We have a main suspect who's in jail, but we still don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah, because they in this movie they just try to make it seem like it was happenstance, like these guys just kind of saw it and they were disgusted.
It seemed like everything's an inside job.
Yeah.
Like usually when it's just not happenstance, these people just like, hey, we don't let It's definitely they knew he had money. They knew he was going to be. This kid was involved, so that's why he didn't feel that bad doing 29 years in life because he had something to do with it. He was not the main perpetrator.
How do you know he didn't feel that bad?
I don't know. I assume because he did time and he was involved and he did lead to this guy being burned to death and this horrific death.
It is odd that it would take 29 years for him to be like, nah, they made me say it.
Yeah.
Like, why take so long?
Obviously, his family got older. Yeah, Adam, there's a lot of circumstances there. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it was not the movie. What's it called again?
Pasolini?
No, the movie.
Pasolini?
The other movie.
Salò.
Okay.
Salò, yeah.
So
You mean Pasolini? Pasolini.
Mr. Pasolini, Mr. Pasolini.
Pasolini, yeah, remember that song?
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah.
Mr. Doubleina, Mr. Bob Doubleina, Mr. Doubleina, Mr. Bob Doubleina.
Mr. Bob Doubleina.
Doubleina.
That was like a 6th grade Catholic dance for me, just dancing that over and over. And
Hey,
wearing overalls.
Pasolini.
Right?
So,
Get out of here.
Get in here. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
All right, so.
Did we lose your train of thought?
No. So the murder was not because of Salò, the movie. It wasn't.
It very well could be. Rolls of film of Salò were stolen from the post-production house, and he was going to pick up the stolen footage because he didn't want other people having it.
So it could have been people that didn't like what he was doing.
Exactly. Yeah, so and it's weird because he had planned to meet the thieves on November 2nd, 1975. That's the day he was killed. So that's pretty much it. We don't know what actually.
All right, bye.
Big mystery.
What actually happened? It is a mystery. It is interesting that he was supposed to meet the extortionist who stole film from one of the most disgusting films of all time that shows child torture and sexual abuse and making kids eat shit before you murder them.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think happened? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Feel free to write us in or send us hate mail or death threats, whatever you want to send us.
Kill us.
Kill us, please.
Well, Kyle, what do you think happened? Personally,
I do think that the kid was somewhat involved. He was messing around with this guy, but I think he set him up. And I think he knew the people who stole the film. And the people who stole the film weren't big fans.
They put him up to do this and play his part. And that's why he didn't feel that bad about doing Life. Life is too much, probably. I don't know. I don't know the Italian legal system, but maybe Life was a little too harsh for this person. But he didn't give up his co-conspirators. And by doing that, you know that it's a bigger conspiratorial kind of group, which has to be the mafia.
I do have one clip of Willem Dafoe talking about Pasolini. There's only one I want to play, but it's like a 3-minute thing. I'm just going to play it, and then we can talk over it, too.
Sure.
Well, it deals with the last couple of days in the life of Pier Paolo Pasolini.
I like the way he said that.
Good pronunciation.
Pier Paolo Pasolini.
He's a poet. He was a filmmaker. He did many things. He was accomplished in many ways. For me, personally, he's someone very important. What this movie doesn't do, it doesn't necessarily
he's from
try
Wisconsin,
to describe
Willem
who
Dafoe.
he is. It's not a biopic.
Yeah.
It really tries to express
Now I know.
some of his thoughts and some of the things that he
Cal, do you know
was going to do.
Cal's like,
before
shut up.
He was murdered. Well, he was so prolific, and he was so courageous, and he was so accomplished in so many ways, and his importance in Italian culture and Western culture in general is so huge that I felt a certain kind of pressure. But also, there's a wealth of material.
From
he
the
led
mafia.
a very well-documented
Nobody's looking to
life,
play
as I say.
Pasolini in a
He was
movie.
tireless.
What
He was
pressure?
always
Lots of
doing many
pressure.
different things.
Yeah, I understand if you're playing like Muhammad
so there
Ali or
was lots of
something.
material.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. JFK or something.
Yeah.
But Pasolini.
Guy that no one's ever heard of.
To inspire me and to learn, to really put myself in his sensibility,
Oh, really?
his thoughts, and
I don't know if you want to
really
go
have
there. Well,
some
Psycho.
imagination about who he was.
That's dark
This
even
film
for you,
isn't
bro.
necessarily
Yeah.
describing
This guy's
life,
fucked up,
a la
probably.
Wikipedia, who he was. It's not a traditional.
Oh, don't.
biopic.
Come on.
I've died more than anyone in cinema, I think.
Except for Pasolini.
So
Yeah.
Oh,
the
he's
good
probably
news
died
is
more than
when
you.
it really happens, I'll be well rehearsed.
Let's think about Pasolini,
So
okay,
maybe I'll
Will?
be calm and good with it.
Steve Buscemi's probably
I
died.
should
Boy,
say.
he's getting dark there.
I'm not in a hurry for that to happen. I think to avoid the most difficult part of making the movie is to avoid all the kind of trappings of a biopic. We made a scenario that was
Make it good?
fact-based from interviews,
Like
and,
the cutesy
wealth of
opening
interviews with
childhood
family,
scenes, and
friends
then
of
the
Pasolini,
catalyst to their
and also a
career.
wealth
The
of-
dark turn.
Yeah,
This is
there
all one big dark turn.
Yeah.
But you always get sucked into this
The old man makeup at the end.
feeling of having to account for things. But we kept it personal, we kept it engaged, and we didn't. We had a very good structure of that last 2 days, so that freed us up. But I think that was difficult.
Yeah, it's called a script.
And also, I had these scenes.
Oh, the scenes, yeah.
It's not really explicit, and
You know,
it's not
movies
really
have
realized,
scenes.
but something of a
Yeah, I was
seduction
acting
with,
these scenes in the movie.
Is he
boy
high
that
here
is
or what's
not-
going on?
You see?
that
I
is
think he's
not,
just gone
an
mentally.
actor. And
He
I
seems
wasn't sure
relaxed,
because
though.
he's
We're gonna
speaking
prove how
Roman and I'm
gone he
speaking
is with the
Italian.
last
I mean,
part
he's
he
speaking
talks
very
about.
Roman dialect.
This is like him talking about one of the most difficult parts of the movie and one of the most tense parts of the movie to make.
Okay, we'll listen.
Let's hear it.
This is the clip I wanted to
Let's
play.
hear it.
Have a scene. It's not really explicit and it's not really realized, but it's something of a seduction with a Roman boy that is not an actor. And I wasn't sure because he's speaking Roman and I'm speaking Italian. I mean, he's speaking very Roman dialect. I wasn't always sure what he understood, and I'm not really sure he understood what was going on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So he's saying he thinks this kid didn't read the script and know what was going to happen in this final scene. Like, that was what he was saying was like the most troubling part for him was not knowing if this kid knew he was about to try to fuck him.
This is a very Pasolini moment.
Yeah, it really is.
But also, you know, if you're making a movie with Willem Dafoe, he's Oscar-nominated actor.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some funding there. Like, you can't hire an actor. You can't find an actor anywhere.
Or a translator.
But I think they were going for the Pasolini-esque way of making movies, which is take the locals
Yeah.
and use them.
And also the cheap way of it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to honor the John Landis way of filmmaking and use a real helicopter.
Yeah, and burn him alive.
So there was a moment where I was very nervous about betraying his trust by doing things that he didn't know what was going down. But the fact is, he knew perfectly well.
Oh, he fucking can
'Cause-
read?
Oh, okay.
Look at that face.
Yeah, he looks very proud of himself.
This kid had no
That's a
clue
good
what was going on, but he knew what was going on.
Yeah, exactly.
What? Wait, which
he
one
didn't
is
speak
it?
a lick of English, and I
Yeah.
don't know Roman. But then at the end, it's like, oh, he knew exactly what was going on. We talked.
I thought he thought I was going to sexually assault him, but he thought he was
He
fine.
seemed scared, trying to run away, but he was having a good time.
But he ran me over. Yeah, it was great.
He thought we were going to go further. That's the funny part. He's like, oh, that's all, huh?
He called the police, but he was best time of his life.
Yeah, so that clip really struck me as
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe's kind of a nut.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Willem Dafoe over there, with Italy being spoken, he doesn't even know what's going on, really. He's just kind of like,
That's an
Going with the flow.
interesting idea, though, to honor the spirit of the person you're making the movie about. What if you're making a movie about Hitler? Like, we want to
some people
honor the
gotta go.
spirit.
You gotta go.
yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you're making a movie and it's
Yeah.
movie magic.
Would Himmler do it this way? Yeah, Leni Riefenstahl.
Yeah.
I'm making a movie over here.
Hey, I'm making a movie.
Called a gas chamber, I called a scene. This is the trailer for the movie
Okay.
that Willem Dafoe's in. To scandalize is a right, and to be scandalized is a pleasure. Quote from Pasolini.
The tragedy is there are no more human beings. There are only strange machines colliding into each other.
That's the kid who gets arrested.
Let me be frank with you. I've been to hell, and I know things that don't disturb other people's dreams.
He just speaks in a regular English accent.
Everybody else speaks Italian.
Sounded more like a Defoe accent.
Yeah.
Dans le passeport, j'écris simplement
Oh, not there. Really.
écrivez.
Kind of a boring stretch of the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a title?
Get to the nut
What
crushing.
about We're All in Danger?
I want to see some tires on faces and nuts.
What about We're All in Danger? Yeah, Abel Ferrara directed that movie, and him and Willem Dafoe became like the Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg of tragedy porn in Europe. So, like,
Wait, Willem Dafoe did?
yeah, Abe Ferrara did these films with Willem Dafoe about other characters in real life from Europe that Willem
Wow.
Dafoe plays and gets murdered again.
That's crazy that he just became that kind of dude.
Yeah, he just had like a few-year run with this director, and they did.
They
a few
made
And
some
Abel
money.
Ferrara did Bad Lieutenant with Harvey Keitel.
Hey,
He's Italian?
No, actually.
Oh, he's not. He just went in
I
Italy.
think he's from New York.
Harvey
Really?
Keitel.
No,
Yeah.
Abel
Yeah.
Ferrara.
Oh, I don't know.
Let me look it up.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Let's see who's.
But yeah, Bad Lieutenant is
That's
a really
wild movie.
It's a it's a wild movie.
Yeah, he's from the Bronx.
Yeah.
Abel Ferrara. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Bad Lieutenant is nuts.
Yeah.
If you like Full Frontal of Harvey Keitel, and I'm sure there's some people
Well,
out there that
People
might.
couldn't get enough of it in the early 90s. He was
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah,
Showing
he-
his dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let us know in the comments how Pasolini actually died.
Any
right?
hot takes out? Yeah, if there's any
What?
Alejandro hot takes at the end here.
Yeah.
Well, if you out there
Alejandro takes. I can't say it.
Alejandro Drake coffee cakes. If any of you listeners out there have any hot takes you want to send to us or post anywhere, please let us know. We have an email address, deathandentertainment@gmail.com. Feel
Hit
free
us.
to send us some hate mail or anything or death threats or whatever you want to do. That's it.
So final thoughts.
He's dead.
That man is dead, and shit happens. And eat your spaghetti and eat your Goodyear tires and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I think the lesson here is to love thy brother as long as he's over 18. You know what I mean?
Come on, gay. Hello.
A weem, a whack, a weem, a whack.
All right. What do they say in Italy?
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Oh, arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Boink.
You have just heard.
A true Hollywood murder mystery.
I have never seen anything like this before.
The movies, Broadway, music, television, all of it.
A place that manufactures
Nightmares.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap.
Good night. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon.